Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this important conversation on Safer Internet Day. Today, we explore the digital playground, opportunities, and threats for children, a topic that impacts millions of young lives. While the internet brings knowledge, connection, and empowerment, it also presents serious risks such as online exploitation, cyberbullying, and safety concerns that require urgent action. My name is Gaurav Shingari, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. I serve as a group business director with the social impact practice at AVNV, working in strategic communication for social impact initiatives across several SDGs. More importantly, I'm here to ensure that we have an insightful and engaging discussion, making the most of the collective expertise on this panel. So before we begin, we have a quick housekeeping rules for our speakers, panelists, and audiences who may have joined to ensure a smooth session. Please keep your microphone muted when not speaking to minimize background noise. When speaking, ensure you are in a quiet place with a stable internet connection. Audiences, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature on the chat function. We'll address the questions after the panel discussion. We'll have a time of about 5 to 10 minutes to address those. Overall, this is an interactive session, so we encourage respectful participation. If referring to any cases, please maintain confidentiality and avoid sharing sensitive personal details. That goes without saying since the topic is sensitive. Now let's begin. I'd like to invite Mr. Rajesh Ranjan Singh, Board Member, ChildFund India, who has over 3 decades of experience in the social impact sector, particularly in the public health programs at leveraging digital technology for last mile accessibility in public health. His work has led to large-scale interventions that have been scaled across several ecosystems in Asia and Africa. Rajesh, sir, over to you. Sir, you're on mute.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you very much. Good morning, distinguished guests, dignitaries, panelists, attendees, and my colleagues in this webinar today. With great honor, I welcome all of you to this pivotal webinar on the digital playground, opportunities and threats for children. And this seminar has been organized on the commemorating Safer Internet Day. Let me extend a warm welcome to all our esteemed guests who have graced us with their presence today. Some of them have already joined and some of them are in the process of joining. Advocate Srimati Suzy Behan V. Shah, Honorable Chairperson, the State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Maharashtra. Srimati Mandakini Kar, Honorable Chairperson, the State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Odisha. Mrs. S. Manju Anand, Honorable Member, the State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Karnataka. Dr. Virendra Mishra, IPS, Superintendent of Police, Datia, Madhya Pradesh. Tulika Mukherjee, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India. Mr. Varun Pathak, Child Rights and Human Rights Expert and Advocate. Vinita Katagi, Lecturer, PU College, Basapura, Bangalore. Our own Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey, Program Director, ChildFund India. And welcome you, Rosa Reddy, a child representative who have been part of our own program for long. Your presence reflects your commitment to the cause of child safety in the digital world, and we are truly grateful to your support and expertise. Today's discussion brings together all of you with a varied background. Many of you are experts, represent statutory bodies, represents academic institutions, and then as a group, we all have and we share a common mission to ensure a safe and nurturing digital environment for our children. The issue of online safety is not just timely, but important and urgent. As digital connectivity in India grows exponentially, children are spending more time online than even before, whether for education, social interaction, or entertainment. While this offers vast opportunities for our children, it also exposes them to risks such as cyberbullying, exploitation, inappropriate content, and privacy breaches. ChildFund, a child development organization, we have been working with children, youth, and families from the remotest part of India with a vision to build an India where children lead a dignified life and achieve their full potential. Our programs provide comprehensive support to children from conception until they reach 24 years of age. Of all the work which we do, child protection is the core of our work. And thus, we are very much apprehensive about the risk to children through the online platforms. Before we dive into the discussion, let me reflect on why this topic is so profoundly important. Children are the heart of our work as a citizens of India. Their dreams, creativity, and boundless energy shape the foundations of tomorrow's India. But if the digital platform they use for self-expression, learning, and connection becomes source of fear or harm to them, we risk losing more than their innocence. We risk compromising the very essence of who they are. According to the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation's a comprehensive annual modular survey, which commonly we call it CAMS, that was conducted in July 22 to July 23, almost a year. Data shows that 82.1% of rural youth between 15 to 24 can use the internet compared to 91.8% in urban areas. The digital landscape is evolving at a pace that poses unique challenges to safeguarding their innocence and ensuring their rights are upheld. ChildFund India is creating a model project in partnership with three state child protection commission. We call it Web Safe and Wise. And the states that these three states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Odisha. This pilot model focuses on partnerships and collaborations, empowering children with digital literacy, community-based awareness campaigns, building a supportive ecosystem, supporting strategy development in each of the states, and ensuring that the policy that is there, both at the national and state level, gets really implemented effectively, brings certain technology-driven solution and a replicable and scalable model. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our esteemed speakers for sharing their time and expertise. Your insights will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and inspire actionable steps. To our organizers and the technical team, thank you for making this event possible and seamless. To all those attendees, your presence underscores your commitment to this critical cause. As we move forward with today's session, I urge each of you to actively engage, ask questions, and share your perspective. Let's really make this webinar just a platform for dialogue, but actually a starting point for meaningful exchange of ideas and learning. In short, I would like to really say the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable member. And this quote is from Father of Nation, Mahatma Gandhi. In the digital age, our responsibility to protect children has expanded to a new domain, and it's our collective duty to rise to this challenge. Thank you again for joining us together. Let's really pave the way for a safer, brighter digital future for our children. And I anticipate today's discussion through this webinar, it will be a productive and enlightening one for each of us. Over to you, Gaurav. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you so much for emphasizing the criticality of child protection in the digital space, especially these times that we have today. I'd now like to invite Ms. Srimati Susiben V. Shah, Honorable Chairperson, Maharashtra State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. She's a respected legal professional and a social entrepreneur, and she has spearheaded women's empowerment initiatives and legal advocacy for child protection. Her leadership continues to strengthen child rights frameworks in Maharashtra. Over to you, ma'am.
Susie Van, your voice, I think that you're on mute.
Susie ma'am, are you there? I think she might be facing some technical difficulties. Okay, I think ma'am would be facing some technical difficulties. We can perhaps move on to the special address from Srimati Mandakini Kar, Honorable Chairperson, Odisha State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Uh, if she's there, could you switch on the camera? Okay, so I've been told that Susie ma'am is here. Ma'am, if you're there.
We are checking, or we are checking from her office because she has logged in. Maybe she may be having the technical difficulty.
Okay, in the meanwhile, I believe if, we can hear from the voices of our children. Hearing from young voices is essential to this discussion. So if Ms. G. Roja Reddy is here, she's a youth representative at ChildFund India since 2019, who actively advocates for child rights and digital safety. If she'd like to speak at this point. Roja, hi, you could unmute yourself. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, all of you. First of all, I would like to say thanks to those who all gave me an opportunity to say something about digital platforms. I'm G. Rosa Reddy. I'm the child representative of Odisha. I'm associated with Child Fund since 2019. Now I'm going to share my personal experience that how social media platforms have helped me during and post pandemic. I was in 8th or ninth standard when COVID-19 was going on in India. At that time, due to closures of schools, colleges, and all that, as you all know, we have to face a lot of problems about our students' studies, financial problems, and all that. Due to closures of coaching centers, institutions, I was also facing a lot of problems about my studies. And then after some months or weeks, our school thought to conduct some online learning classes for student doubt clearing classes like Zoom Meet, Google Meet, online classes, I mean video calling classes for doubt clearing. Due to COVID-19 is being prevalent in India for last 2 to 3 years, we have to continue the online learning classes till till my 10th board exams. And also my family members are also very worried about that how would I pass my 10th board exams. But because of all this Google Meet, Zoom Meet, doubt clearing classes, WhatsApp video calling classes, and after so much of efforts from my teachers, I passed my 10th board exams with very well good secured marks. And not this much, even social media helped me a lot after my board exams also. As you all know, students have to fill up the online forms to get admissions in colleges, I mean the seats. And there was a app named Samsa, something like that, to get the college admissions in. So after that, I also I mean my college admissions were also gone very well. And at last, sir, I would like to say that social media will be very better for us if we will use it in proper way, and it can be go so far badly if you are using it in any wrong way. So sir, can I share my personal experience, I mean, which was happened with my one of my best friend? Actually, sir, she was my friend still my childhood. Actually, she likes to influence in social media. She is a social media influencer. Actually, sir, she got many requests every day from some random persons, and one day a random person sent a friend request to her that I mean he said to, can we become a friends and all. And she accepted that friend request, and they were talking with each other for 2 or 3 weeks. And one day the random person asked her for a, I mean, her objectionary picture, I mean private picture. And she felt that, I mean, she also sent it him because they were formed a good bond between them. And she sent her perfect private picture to him. And the random person accidentally viral that picture. After knowing this all, my friends family members are also very worried about that. She got depressed so much about that. And then we took some moral help from our counselors, and now she is okay, and she is going to college every day. And she learned to use the social media in proper way. So at last, I would like to request all that use the social media in proper way. And I am also motivated a lot after happened at this incident, sir.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for sharing that personal story. I think आपकी story से बहुत लोग lesson ले सकते हैं. It's a story of many children, many people online, young people online today. So it's important to understand these lessons. And I completely agree with your thought that social media can be used for good as well as for bad. So yes, thank you for sharing that. I'd now like to welcome Srimati Mandakini Kar, who's the Honorable Chairperson of Odisha State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. She's a passionate advocate. She has been instrumental in strengthening child protection mechanisms in Odisha, ensuring legal support and education for marginalized children. Ma'am, if you'd like to give your special address.
I'm online. Yes, I'm online. I'm online. तो मुझे
Mandakini ji, if you are there, could you unmute and turn on the video? Ma'am, if you could unmute, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Thank you. Good morning to all esteemed guests, dignitaries, and participants. Today here, it is a privilege for me to join all of you at this pivotal event as we unite our voices, researchers, and expertise to combat the online sexual exploitation and abuse of children. This issue is more than a challenge. It is call to action for every one of us to protect the most vulnerable members of our society, the children. I want to take a moment to commend ChildFund of India, a civil society organization of this initiative, and every individual present here today. Your dedication to this cause is a powerful testament to what can be achieved when we prioritize the safety and well-being of children. The digital world has transformed the lives of children, opening doors to incredible opportunities that were once beyond imagination. Today, children have access to an unparalleled wealth of information and resources at their fingertips, fostering curiosity and enabling self-directed learning. Educational platforms, interactive apps, and online courses provide innovative ways to enhance learning, making education more engaging and accessible than ever before. The internet also connects children to the world, allowing them to form friendship across culture, share ideas, and collaboration globally. Social media platforms, when used responsibly, enable children to express themselves, showcase their talents, and learn from diverse perspectives. Additionally, digital tools like coding software, graphic design programs, and virtual labs empower children to develop technical and creative skills, preparing them for future careers in a rapidly evolving world. Moreover, the digital age nurtures creativity and innovation, from creating content on YouTube to designing games or apps. Children now have opportunity to turn their ideas into reality. Platforms like e-learning websites and the virtual realities simultaneously have redefined how children explore interest and develop problem solving skills. While these opportunities are immense, it's essential to guide children to use digital tools safety and responsibility, ensuring they benefit fully from the boundless potential of their digital world. The increasing access to the internet among children and the lack of awareness and protective measures make them vulnerable to online predators. For 436.63 million population under the age of 18 years, which is 30% of country's population in India. 400% rise in online abuse cases against minors in 2021. NCRB data in India. Children face various forms of online sexual exploitation and abuse that pose serious risks to their safety and well-being. These include cyberbullying, cybercrime, where children are harassed or intimidated through social media or messaging platforms, and online grooming, where predators build trust to exploit children. Sex torture involves blackmailing children using sensitive images, while the creation and distribution of child sexual abuse material (CSM) is a grave from exploitation. Identity theft, exposure to inappropriate content, and human trafficking facilitated online are other threats. Online sexual OSC has terrible implication of for victims, causing severe physical, psychological, and emotional stress and leaving lasting scars that can haunt them for a lifetime. The impact of these crimes of children investing beyond the immediate physical or emotional harm, victims often suffer long-term consequence, including trauma, trust issues, and disturb social development. These crimes rob children of their innocence and security, make it imperative for all of us decisively. Many survivors continue to suffer from the effects of OSESE into adulthood. They may have ongoing difficulties with trust, relationships, sexual health, and self-esteem. The psychological scares can last long for the abuse has ended, affecting their capacity to lead fulfilling lives. Online sexual exploitation of children is not just a crime, it's a violation, gross violation of trust, a, a destruction of innocence, and an attack on the very foundation of our society. This issue demands urgent attention because the digital age, while full of potential, has created avenues for to operate with any anonymity and impunity. The effects of such exploitation and profound. They rob children of their sense of safety and leave emotional scares that may last a lifetime. As a society, we cannot turn a blind eye to this grooming epidemic. On behalf of OCPCR, especially thanks once again to Child Fund of India for collaborating with us and their support and preventing the OSCAC issues in India. Already we have done program in Kendrapada district, the teachers training and the district administration training is over. Thank you. Together, let us ensure that every child's right to safety, dignity, and happiness is protected, both online and offline. Thank you. Jai Jagannath. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Mandakini ji. Quite an alarming statistic you mentioned there. 400% increase, 400% से बढ़ोतरी हुई है online abuse के cases में. That's quite a shocking statistic as a parent of 2 children. Myself, I mean, that is a cause for concern. Now, next, I would like to invite Srimati Susi Ben V. Shah. She's the Honorable Chairperson of Maharashtra State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. She's a respected legal professional and social entrepreneur. She has spearheaded women's empowerment initiatives and legal advocacy for child protection, and her work continues to strengthen child rights frameworks in Maharashtra. Susi Ben, ma'am, if you're there, I'd like to invite you to address the audience.
Warm greetings and welcome to all my co-panelists, Chairperson of Karnataka and Odisha. It's good to hear you and share the panel with you. Our dear esteemed members of Child Fund of India, whether it be Rajesh Ranjan Singh ji, whether it be Jinu Varghese, Chandrasekhar Pandey, it is always a pleasure to liaise with you and coordinate with you and learn from you. Thank you for having me on the webinar today. And with those words, I say, let me address this webinar and talk to the young panelist also who's here. So good morning, distinguished guest, esteemed panelists and participants, and my dear young lady, G. Roja Reddy, to being present and give us a very enlightening address. Good, you did a great job. Congratulations. It is a both honor and a responsibility to address this webinar, focusing on the online risk faced by the children, with particular emphasis on the grave issue of online sexual abuse and exploitation. The topic is of utmost importance as the digital revolution transforms our lives, offering vast opportunities and exposing our children to significant vulnerabilities. Children are the heart of our world. Children are the reflection of India. Children are the progress that India looks forward to. They are our hope. They are our hope. They are what should I say? They are our joy, our responsibility. Yet, in the digital age, many of them are at risk, victims of hidden heinous crimes that thrives in the shadow of technology. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to Child Fund India, a civil society organization, for hosting this webinar in collaboration with us, Maharashtra State, Maharashtra Bal Haq Ayog, Maharashtra, KCPCR, and OCPCR, and all the stakeholders, government officials, enforcement, civil leaders. Your commitment to this mission is a testament to the power of collaboration and address one of the most pressing issue of our time. I would also like to talk about Child Fund India, that it is not just a mere participation. It is sensitizing the stakeholders. It is sensitizing the all stakeholders, whether it be the DCPU, whether it be the Jimaba, means the local women and child officers, the teachers. It certainly calls for a great appreciation, and I once again congratulate the team Child Fund India. The rapid expansion of internet access and digital technologies, while providing numerous benefits, has also created online risk and threats for children by predators to exploit and abuse children. The online risk, especially sexual exploitation and abuse of children, is a critical and fast growing issue that poses a severe threat to the safety and well being of all our children. OSAC encompasses a range of harmful activities. OSAC meaning sexual exploitation and abuse of children, shortly known as OSAC, encompasses a range of harmful activities, including but not limited to the production and distribution of sexual abuse material, that porn, online grooming, special exhortation, and live streaming of child abuse. These actions cause severe and lasting harm to children and require immediate and comprehensive attention. The numbers that I'm going to put forward today are going to be even more alarming, and therefore, once again, it emphasizes the fact that we all should come together and fight this sexual abuse on the digital world that we are facing currently. The global landscape of internet using highlights to extent of children exposure to online risk. A significant portion of young people are online. Worldwide, 79% of people aged between 15 and 24 use the internet. 14 percent points are more than the rest of the population. 65% is the total population using internet. Out of the 830 million online young people, 320 million, 39% are in China and are in India. 9 out of 10 young individuals not using the internet live in Africa, Asia, and Pacific, certainly not in India. The portion of young people aged between 15 and 24 using the internet is 71%, is significantly higher than the proportion of the total population using the internet, that is 48%. Availability of online sexual content in Greece, Spain, Poland, Romania, the Netherlands, and Iceland. The prevalence of online exposure to pornography was 59% overall, 24% for exposure at least once a week of 14 and 17-year-old children. It is indeed a saddening statistics. Self-generated imaginary. Children sharing the nude of themselves, 59% being treated in a hurtful way, 51%, and seeing sexually explicit content are the 49% of children using the internet. Online sexual harassment. Online sexual harassment continues to be a threat to kids, with 1 in every 6 kids experience it globally. I would also like to mention here that I must commend the efforts of the parliamentarian and politicians of Australia, that they've passed a resolution, they've passed an act whereby the children in the school are forbidden to use the internet, are forbidden to use the phone. I think that is the need of the hour, and through Child Fund of India, we should take up this initiative with the politicians, with the politics, with the politicians, the ministers, the administrators of India, and ensure that a similar notification or an act is passed in the parliament, so our children are safe, at least from this online exploitation. I think Rajesh Ranjanji, we must study the Australia resolution or the act that they have passed in the parliament, and maybe a similar, if could be if it could be enacted in India. I would be very happy to host a preliminary discussion on this issue in Mumbai, it will be a pleasure to host you. So kindly let us also come up with a paper. How do we, by an act of parliament or by a legislation, protect our children? That you will agree that it is the need of the hour. Now, what is the national scenario? Worryingly, it is no better than the world scenario. India mirror global trends with a significant increase in incidents of online sexual exploitation and abuse of children. Rise in online sexual abuse. NHRC notices to the center, states and union territories are over the reported increase of 200 to 50 to 300% child sexual abuse material. Cybercrime against children. Cybercrime against children registered cases increased 5 times from 3% to 15%. Indeed, it is a need of the hour. Instance of online sexual abuse. India reported over 24 lakh instances of online sexual abuse during the years to 3 years 2017 to 2018, with 80% of victims being girls below the age of 14 years. Sad but true. Daily searches. Interpol 2021 highlighted that over 1.16 lakh searches related to child abuse material are made daily in India. Cyberbullying. Approximately 20% of our Indian children have experienced cyberbullying at some point or the other. These are indeed alarming statistics, underscore the pervasive and escalating nature of OSAC nationally, necessitating an immediate and coordinated effort to protect children online. India has policies, legislative frameworks, and programs to combat online child abuse. Despite these efforts, challenges persist. Reporting reporting mechanism remain underutilized due to lack of awareness and fear of stigma. Law enforcement agency often face difficulties in investigating cybercrimes due to jurisdiction complexities and the sophisticated techniques employed by the perpetrators. Addressing this issue demand a united front. No single entity can tackle this crisis alone. Governments must lead to enacting and enforcing laws to punish offenders and to protect children. Technology companies must take greater accountability for safeguarding digital platforms. Civil society organizations like ChildFund India and many others, and advocate must amplify awareness and provide support to survivors. Families and communities must remain vigilant, creating safe spaces for children both online and offline. To this, I would just like to add one line that we ran a pilot project in Mumbai with Child Fund of India on the with the teachers who are 7 to 8 hours in a day the children spend in the school. And Rajesh Ranjan Singh ji, I would be very happy to add that most of the teachers wanted to join as TOT, train the trainer, to participate and carry forward our message to the coming generation. So I think your training that we had done in Mumbai was welcomed by all the stakeholders, and we must also explore a module of TOT. I think because Child Fund of India and MCPCR cannot reach every children, but through the teachers, I'm sure we will be able to make a panel who can travel Maharashtra and keep the training on. At the center of these efforts must be the children themselves, empowered, educated, and equipped. That is the reason TOT, to navigate the digital world with the resilience. With resilience. The webinar signals a turning point in our collective fight against this grave injustice. It is a step towards creating an ecosystem where every child can grow up free from fear, from where digital spaces are safe as the communities we envision for them. Let us today mark the beginning of a sustained action and meaningful change. Together, we can turn the tide against online sexual exploitation and abuse, ensuring that the digital age becomes a force for good and not harm in the lives of our children. I am honored to stand with you in this mission, and I look forward to incredible progress we will achieve together. We have once again thanked the organization Child Fund of India, and may our collective resolve bring safety, hope, and healing to every child. With these words, as always, it's a pleasure to interact, and discuss with Child Fund of India. I look forward in the coming year as well to make some path breaking programs, have the concept which no other person has done it, with the only mission being to protect our children on the internet, on the online space. Thank you once again very much for having me on the webinar. I appreciate Child Fund of India's work in Maharashtra, and continue to work not only for a year but many years together. With these words, thank you. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful illuminating address with certain alarming statistics. As I mentioned before, these are numbers that we need to take note of. And as you mentioned, we need to make children the center of this, the main beneficiaries, and work towards their online protection. Now we have for you panel
I'll take your
discussion.
leave. I have to attend the next program. I'll take your leave. Rajesh
Thank
Ranjan
you.
ji, मिलते हैं. जरूर आइएगा बम्बई. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sudeep, and thank you very much for your
Thank you. Bye-bye.
kind words.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we move to our panel discussion. As I mentioned, this panel discussion has been structured to provide a coherent and productive flow of insights with a certain panel of speakers from every aspect of this critical issue, ensuring an engaging and meaningful conversation for our audiences. We have an exceptional lineup of panelists today. Unfortunately, we also had Dr. Virendra Mishra, an IPS officer, who had to leave due to an urgent situation at his end. So apart from him, we have Ms. Tulika Mukherjee, who's an advocate on record, Supreme Court of India, a legal expert specializing in civil and criminal law, including POCSO cases, representing multiple states at the Supreme Court. She has worked on key legislative reforms regarding online child exploitation and has provided legal counsel in landmark child rights cases. We have also with us Mr. Varun Pathak. He's a child rights and human rights expert and advocate, a former chairperson of Child Welfare Committee, and a key figure in shaping India's policies on child labor and protection. He has collaborated in the past with UNICEF and the Government of India on child welfare frameworks and has trained law enforcement officers on safeguarding child rights. We also have Miss Vinita Katagi. She's a lecturer in PU College, Bangalore. She's a passionate educator specializing in digital literacy and internet safety. She has led several school-based awareness programs to educate parents, which is a very important stakeholder for us, on safe internet practices and cyber risks, ensuring digital safety education is effectively integrated into the academic curricula. We also have Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey. He's a program director with Child Fund India, who have organized this webinar for us today. With over 27 years of experience, he leads child development programs across 14 states, fostering partnerships with civil society and government institutions. He has played a pivotal role in designing and implementing child protection frameworks at the national level and has been instrumental in advocacy efforts for stronger digital safety policies for children. So, one of the key areas that we need to target or speak about is as at the school, at the college, at the university level. So I would like to start with Ms. Katagi, getting her perspective on the education level, at the education level, about awareness regarding this issue. So Ms. Katagi, how can schools proactively educate students about online safety? This is an area that we've seen needs a lot more interventions, needs a lot more work. How do you feel they can work towards this in a proactive manner? I think we have seemed to have lost Ms. Katagi from the webinar. Ma'am, are you here? If you're here, could you join?
Oh,
Yes, I see you there. Just give me 1 second, please.
Hello.
Yes, Kataki ji.
Just a second. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yes.
So my question,
Good
I
morning.
can repeat my question. It was basically to you to understand how schools, colleges, university level institutions can proactively educate students about online safety, and how can this be integrated into the curriculum?
Yeah, sure. Sir, I would like to. Hello.
Yes, yes, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Just a second. Just a second. So school can take various initiatives to create awareness about online safety among students, ensuring they are equipped to native the digital world responsibility, like introducing dedicated sessions on digital literacy and online safety as part of the curriculum as a key step. Hello.
Yes, yes, please go ahead, ma'am. We can hear you.
Yeah. Then in the schools and colleges, they can arrange the workshops and interactive activities such as role playing and real life case studies. Make these lessons engaging and relatable. Schools can also initiate some and cyber security experts like child protection officers and NGOs to conduct awareness drives or guest lecturers. And apart from that, they can encouraging open discussion during class and setting up uh, anonymous reporting mechanism create a safe space for students to share concerns, promoting the use of parental controls, secure passwords, and privacy settings ensure students are better prepared to protect themselves online. Then schools can organize awareness campaigns like poster making competitions or drawing competitions or social media challenges to reinforce these lessons creatively. Collaboration with parents through workshops and newsletters ensure consistent messaging about online safety both at home and in school. Fostering is a holistic approach to protecting children online. So these are the my major points I would like to share in this webinar.
Um, Thank you for sharing that. I believe that you raised a very important point about creating awareness and having safe space reporting mechanisms where these cases or situations can be reported. I would also like to understand and get your perspective on how can this be integrated into the curriculum, make them aware by integrating such modules into the curriculum of children.
Pardon me, sir.
I just wanted
Pardon
to
me,
get.
sir.
Yes, just ma'am, wanted to get your perspective on how you feel this can be integrated into the curricula as well, the academic curricula.
Cur- Yeah, sure. In curriculum, they can come up with the lessons. Okay, so they can add the lessons related to that digital safety and this one sexual exploitation related to any chapters they can add it. Okay, then and one more thing I would like to share in this meeting. So in the last month, 23rd Jan, so in the same year, the Child Fund India, collaboration with Karnataka State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, they have organized one function, okay, like a workshop. They have organized the workshop, so that was really useful. They have arranged a TOT training, okay, trainings of trainers. They called the many lecturers and the teachers who are working in that area or a place. So they gave the training in the TOT program. So these teachers and lecturers can getting a benefited of that. And so once when they learn or they learn from the training, and they can educate the students related to the digital safety and addressing online sexual exploitation and abuse of children. So see, we already have few knowledges about the digital safety, but being a student, okay, so as a student, they doesn't know how they will be very much careful, okay, when they are using the mobile phones and all. So we need to guide them, okay. So if we have a knowledge, okay, through then only we can able to guide the students. So I'm really appreciate Child Fund India. So they have given a wonderful opportunity to join with them, and we got a lot of knowledge, and we shared a lot of live cases. We came to know all the things, and we discussed everything in the schools and colleges. So this is really helpful to the students, okay, how they will be very much secured, okay, from the misuse or some cyber crime and all. So this is the thing I would like to share in this webinar, sir.
Thank you, Vinuda ji. I completely agree with your perspective on the importance of guidance, providing guidance to students and children, which is an often overlooked area in this space. Now, from moving on from an educator's perspective to understanding the perspective of parents, I would like to now address Dr. Chandrasekhar Pandey. So my question to you is to understand the parent perspective of parents better. What role do parents play in creating a safer online environment at home? We know that these are some of our most important stakeholders in this entire issue. So they have a very important role to play. What is it that they can do at home, and what is that role that they can play in ensuring child protection in the online space?
Hello, everyone. So we have already heard some of our speakers like Susi Bain and even our child representative Rajesh ji has also talked about. And in the morning sessions, we got the huge, a good number of actually the data, and in all the data, we are getting that this is a huge problem. So nobody can deny about that, like that without digital world we can survive. And this is an area, Gaurav, that the means children are much more educated compared to the parents. So,
Absolutely.
so this is an area that actually children are much more smarter, much more. And if you see the Gen Z children, if you see when talking about the digital, without digital they can't survive. I have a child and I know that he is not interested in studying books. Normally, in our age and generations, we used to have reference books, many of the books in our library. And normally, if you see, many of us actually like to also keep a good library at home. But now they used to go, they search, and then only even for the education purpose, they use the internet. So without the digital world, the one question is that we can't survive. Now the question is coming like that. Now the question is that if this is the truth, because already we got the statistics 79%, 73%, something which is quite means even you can see about more than two-thirds. So that is coming actually the internet users. And in that case, the role of family becomes very high because there is a generational problem. One side, suppose I belongs to the generation X, and I would be like to actually updating knowledge and anything through the different apart from the internet means the source of information will be completely different. And if I also like, my children also will be doing same. So this is not possible. So parents mindset needs to be also changed. So number one, that definitely the use will be theirs. My advice is that then parents has to educate themselves most on the internet so that they can think about the digital safety. So how? The means children will definitely using, but how you are reducing the screening time. This is one, because if unless you give the alternative, children will not be actually, because in our days, I remember the neighborhood community was very strong. So we used to spend more time with the neighbors. Currently, the children is at home and the parents are working. So children, how long actually in a room sitting and then after means managing the time. So definitely children will be exposed to the internet. So one thing is the parents, how parents means spend more time with the child. So this is one area so that you can reduce the screening time. Second part is that how you can actually also if you are educated digitally, then you can guide your child that what are the negative impact of digital that you can guide, and you can create the atmosphere that a child, if it is digitally abused, can come to you and seek your advice. So this is one area, the how you are making your children comfortable. There is the role. And then after, if you looking at, if you're seeing that, also supervising means, because if the content is good, because the children will be studying through also the digitally exposed literature. So in that way, how you work means, if your child is suppose using the laptop and hiding the screen, so that is there the role of the parents actually comes. So these are the many area. You have really raised a very important question. The role of family is much important, because child now is spending huge amount of time in family as well as in schools. So both actually I can see family, community and schools are much more important. And I hope today we are talking about the digital playground threats for the children. Maybe in years to come, we should all put the effort. How we'll change it? The digital playground is not the threat for the children, but it is a boon for the children. So how we are transferring in coming years, that is all our efforts. Because one thing is very clear, without digital world, we are not going to survive in coming years. So we have to learn that what are the better way, and we need to educate more and more. And that is only the solution, because children will not behave according to the parents' behavior, and parents have to learn the children's behavior, that how to manage a child so that the children is better equipped, and talked about the digital safety, digital health, so and how to minimize and reduce the digital time, and what are the alternatives we can provide. So these are some of the things, the role of family I see.
Thank you so much, sir. I completely agree with you. I have, as I mentioned, I have two young boys, and the older one is now going to be 8. And I every day I see his knowledge, his skills now in the digital space starting to match or even exceed some of my own. So it will be not be very, long that he'll exceed that. I won't be able to monitor completely, his activities in the online space. So yes, certainly apart from the screen time, I also feel that's a very important point, the screen time, which is a discussion in many circles, not just about child protection, online child protection, even doctors, everybody's speaking about that. I also feel that the parents also have to do their bit to enhance their own knowledge about understanding this issue, about understanding some protection mechanisms, how they can, prevent children from getting into these difficult situations, and how can there be safety mechanism built into their browsing behavior or wherever they are. Thank you so much. But one point I'd like to come back to is, you mentioned, spoke about neighborhood communities playing a very important role in generations prior to this, the pre-internet generations, essentially. Uh, that, brings up a very important point here, that what is the role that you feel communities have to play in contributing to child online safety?
So Gaurav, if you look into that, children live in a family. So again, it is not an isolation. Means again, the children live in a community, and how the community environment is also there. So each and every one has a role. Like if you see in a community, entire community setup, that there are teachers, there are means different kind of community leaders. Then after currently, if you see there is a Panchayati Raj institution, they have also come to play a role. So if means in a community, if you make a conducive environment for the children, if the any child report any kind of violations and threat, so how the community is supportive. So in my thinking, if I'm going through one of the books, Lee Suicide, so even normally many people say the suicide is individual phenomena. But actually, it is not. It is a societal and the community phenomena. And that is why, even if you see about the digital interventions, again, the society and community, how they are playing as a whole. So my request to like SCPCR is doing a wonderful job actually, helping us actually reaching out to the community even. So helping us in training of the trainers. Also, we are coming through the study. Initially, 3 SCPCR chairperson actually there. And from Odisha, Karnataka, and Maharashtra, we have started this effort. This is not going to be limited. This is gaining momentum. Everybody is liking this work, and definitely now we want to expand this work and more towards the community, because the community is the key solutions where all stakeholders come together and how to provide conducive and better environment to the children. So that is the community, because without community, only if you think that means children will be, where the children will be going. Children will live in a family and children will be also in a community. So larger question is that how we are addressing the and building a better community where they are also digitally expert. They also take part in the awareness generation. So it's not only means the parents' role or the teacher's role, even it is everybody has to come together. And in this program, purposefully we are trying to connect with everyone, most of the stakeholder like education department. We are also going to means SCPCR, that is police, definitely we are connecting, law enforcement agency, technology company. That also they have also the role how technologically actually you limit the space. So as a whole, it is a, we can say, the integrated approach, and in that the community becomes one of the important role, because community is the major deciding role. And you're surprised to hear that community feeling mostly in the rural India, and now the digitally exposed children are more in rural India. It's not only in urban. So many people feel that it is an urban problem, but actually it is not. It is not an urban problem. It has penetrated into even the rural area. So your question is really something very important. That is a long-term and sustainable approach only. We need to work together, and then only community level means digital safety, digital awareness program. We all have to come together and then to resolve this.
Absolutely, I completely agree with the advent of smartphone penetration into rural and remote areas as well. This has become an issue there as well that we need to be mindful of. And as they say, the old adage goes, it takes a village. So yes, the community has a very important role to play in this regard. Moving on from the role of the community and the parents, I'd like to speak a little bit about policy and regulation. And this is a question to Mr. Pathak. Uh, Mr. Pathak, how effective in the current state do you feel are India's existing policies in tackling online child exploitation? And what are some improvements that we can do to make them more relevant to evolving threats? Because we see this is a very evolving space. There are new social media platforms or something or the other coming up each day. So, what are some improvements that we can also make to keep up with this?
Thank you, Gaurav ji. Thank you so much for this wonderful प्रोग्राम। और नमस्कार राजेश रंजन जी, मैं देख रहा हूँ कि सेम टाइम में आज सेफ इंटरनेट डे पर चाइल्ड फंड इंडिया इंक्लूडिंग चाइल्ड फंड इंटरनेशनल दोनों सेम टाइम पर सेम इशू पर प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज को आपने आज लिया है। मैं शॉर्ट टाइम है तो उसको करता हूँ। एज ए कंसल्टेंट ऑफ यूनिसेफ इन बिहार, वहाँ मोनार्क यूनिवर्सिटी और नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूडिंग साइबर क्राइम एंड ऑल डिपार्टमेंट के साथ काफी कुछ इवन आई एम टोटली एग्री विद द पांडे सर कि रूरल एरिया में भी बहुत ज्यादा पेनिट्रेट हो चुका है ये साइबर क्राइम और इससे चाइल्ड सेफ्टी को लेकर जो कंसर्न इश्यूज हैं, और वहां पर स्कूल और उन सबको इम्प्लीमेंट करके 4 ईयर के लिए एक काफी पॉजिटिव इंटरवेंशन किया जा रहा है, क्योंकि साइबर सेफ्टी से लेकर काफी सारे इश्यूज जो ट्रैफिकिंग और अदर अब्यूज पार्ट है ऑलरेडी इंक्लूड है। तो उसको लेकर नो डाउट अभी हमारे पास डिजिटल प्रोटेक्शन को लेकर लॉज हैं, पॉक्सो को लेकर हमारे पास अभी लॉज हैं, और साथ में मॉनिटरिंग करने के लिए नेशनल कमीशन एंड अदर बॉडीज अवेलेबल है। बट उसके बावजूद भी काफी सारे गैप पॉलिसीज में आ रहे हैं इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ना होने की वजह से, जिसमें अभी मैं देख पा रहा हूँ कि हमारा सेक्शन 14 और 15 ऑन पॉक्सो एक्ट है, जहां जिसको हमने ड्राफ्ट किया, ऑलमोस्ट 1.5 ईयर का रूल और एक्ट के अंदर टाइम स्पेंड किया। बट उसके बावजूद भी अभी भी व्हाट्सएप एंड सोशल मीडिया और हर पॉकेट के मोबाइल में बहुत हद तक जो मटेरियल है वो चाइल्ड सेक्सुअल अब्यूज से रिलेटेड है, पोर्नोग्राफी एंड अदर ऑप्शंस मटेरियल वहाँ अवेलेबल है, और इसकी अवेयरनेस अभी तक लोगों के पास नहीं पहुंची है। बहुत कैजुअली उसको वहां ले रहे हैं, जबकि एक्ट के अंदर उसको पनिशेबल ऑफेंस में इंक्लूड किया गया है। उसके बावजूद भी काफी हद तक चीजें लगातार चल रही हैं। मुझे लग रहा है कि अवेयरनेस और इंटरवेंशन उस लेवल पर होगा तो आई थिंक ये काफी कुछ चीजें हो पाएंगी, क्योंकि इंटरनेट की कोई लिमिटेशन नहीं है, वो ग्लोबली है और बहुत ही तेजी से फैल रहा है। जिस तरह से अभी लास्ट उसमें पांडे सर ने भी इंक्लूड किया कि हमारी जो जेड जनरेशन है उससे हमें सीखने की जरूरत है, हमसे कहीं ज्यादा वो फास्ट है और कहीं ज्यादा स्पीड अप वो चीजों को लर्न कर रहे हैं। तो टाइमली उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना, साथ में रिपोर्ट करना, इंटरवेंशन करना, और ये हमारे लिए प्रिवेंशन वाला जो पार्ट है बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। नहीं तो सिचुएशन बहुत वर्स्ट होगी। जिस तरह से हम रेगुलर देख रहे हैं एनसीआरबी का डाटा, जो सेक्सुअल ऑफेंस और साइबर सिक्योरिटी का है वो डे टू डे इंक्रीज होता जा रहा है। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू पाठक जी। आई थिंक वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट आपने रेज किया। इम्प्रूवमेंट्स वी स्पोक अबाउट, कुछ स्पेसिफिक आप एक्शनेबल स्टेप्स रिकमेंड कर सकते हैं विच कैन इम्प्रूव द करंट स्टेट ऑफ दिस पॉलिसीज ऑफ दिस रेगुलेशंस?
डेफिनेटली गौरव जी, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है और जस्ट मैं पॉइंट में ही उसको इंक्लूड करता हूँ। एक फॉर एग्जांपल चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी में एक इंसिडेंट आया, एक नहीं बहुत तरह के इंसिडेंट रहते हैं जहाँ पर ऑनलाइन फ्रेंडशिप और बाकी प्रोसेस के बाद वो माइनर है वो निकल गए, फिर पॉक्सो में रजिस्टर्ड हुआ मैटर और काफी सारी चीजें। उसमें एक जो क्लास करने के लिए फैमिली ने इसी सेफ्टी की वजह से मोबाइल तो अवेलेबल किया एक माइनर गर्ल को, मगर उस मोबाइल में नंबर नहीं था, सिम नहीं था। उसके बावजूद भी जितने भी हमारे ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म है, फेसबुक, टेलीग्राम, इंस्टाग्राम, वो जो एक है, इवन आज के टाइम में तो गेमिंग साइट जो है वो अपने आप में एक बहुत वर्नेबल सिचुएशन बन गई है। मॉनिटरिंग नहीं है, कंट्रोल नहीं है, और वो तो वहां से उसकी ट्रैफिकिंग और सेक्सुअल अब्यूज और एक पूरी लंबी जर्नी दिल्ली टू मुंबई उसकी रही, और काफी मुश्किल से क्राइम ब्रांच इस बच्ची को रिकवर कर पाई। तो वहां पर हमें देखना होगा कितने स्मार्ट बच्चे हैं और हमें किस लेवल पर उन सारी चीजों को आइडेंटिफाई करना, प्रॉपरली रिपोर्ट करना, वो सब हमारे लिए एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है। इसके साथ साथ एक और सजेशन है, जिस तरह से हमारा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्टेक्ट है यूएसए के साथ चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन पॉलिसी को लेकर, और इस तरह के ऑप्शंस मटेरियल है तो इमीडिएटली रिपोर्ट इंडियन पुलिस के पास आती है और वो आगे एक्शन लेते हैं। और ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने जिस तरह का इनिशिएटिव लिया है बिलो 16 के लिए, जो वो लॉ लेकर आए हैं, तो इस टाइम हमारे यहाँ भी जरूरत है कि हम इंटरनेशनल जो बेंचमार्क हैं उनको देखकर अपने यहाँ पर आगे पॉलिसी को बनाएं, जिसमें दो इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट मुझे अभी समझ में आते हैं। एक तो हमारे यहाँ पर एक अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम जिसको हमने सक्सेसफुली दिल्ली में इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, और जिस तरह से देख रहा हूँ चाइल्ड फंड इंडिया भी बहुत तेजी से इस सेफ्टी और इस सारे इश्यूज को जो सभी स्टेक होल्डर एससीपीसीआर हो या फिर एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट हो उनके साथ कर रहा है। तो यहाँ पर वन डे में एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट और स्टेट कमीशन की हेल्प से 5000 के आसपास अर्ली वार्निंग की इंफॉर्मेशन स्कूल से पेरेंट्स के पास पहुंचती है कि आज आपका बच्चा एबसेंट है, और जो लॉन्ग टर्म में होता है 1 वीक या 2 वीक के बाद, फिर वो उनको वहां पर कॉल करके अपडेट लेना कि क्या इश्यूज है कि, और वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है अर्ली स्टेज पर ही इंटरवेंशन करने का, और ताकि ट्रैफिकिंग, चाइल्ड मैरिज और बाकी सारे इस तरह के कोई भी इश्यूज वहां पर ना हो। आई नो एक इंसिडेंट के यहाँ पर मॉर्निंग में एक माइनर गर्ल स्कूल गई और स्कूल नहीं पहुंची, अर्ली वार्निंग के थ्रू इंफॉर्मेशन पेरेंट्स को मिली, और पेरेंट्स ने उसको सर्च किया, नहीं मिलने पर इमीडिएटली पुलिस ने इंफॉर्मेशन दी और पुलिस ने भी एक्शन लेते हुए इमीडिएटली एफआईआर रजिस्टर्ड की। और अराउंड 12 के आसपास नियरेस्ट पार्क से उस बच्ची मिली। उस दिन स्कूल में टेस्ट था जो नहीं देना चाहती थी, और वो स्कूल उसने बंक किया उस दिन। तो बट पूरी मशीनरी हमारी इतनी वेल स्मूथली कर रही थी, वो हैबिचुअल होता, और वो किसी अनसेफ सिचुएशन में वो बच्ची आती उससे पहले ही वहां पर प्रोसेस किया गया। तो इस तरह के जो अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम है, मुझे लग रहा है एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है। दूसरा, जिस तरह से व्हाट्सएप पे एक ऑप्शन है ब्लॉक करने के साथ साथ रिपोर्टिंग करने का भी, मुझे लगता है कॉल पर भी वो ऑप्शन होना चाहिए। रॉन्ग नंबर कभी कभी फिर वो फ्रेंडशिप और बाकी आगे के रिलेशन में पहुंच जाते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे जो माइनर है वो उस लेवल पर उन सारी चीजों को अवेयर नहीं है। तो वहां भी अगर रिपोर्टिंग का सिस्टम हो कि किस टाइप की थ्रेट या किस तरह का ये फोन कॉल रॉन्ग नंबर या जैसे भी उनके पास पहुंचा है, तो मुझे लगता है उससे काफी हद तक एक सेफ्टी हो सकती है। और सिर्फ गर्ल चाइल्ड ही नहीं, बॉयज चाइल्ड भी है जो माइनर, वो काफी विक्टिम है इस सारी सिचुएशन में भी, तो उनको भी हमें ध्यान देना होगा। थैंक यू सो मच। ओपन सेशन में कोई क्वेश्चन होगा तो वी विल डिस्कस ऑन।
Thank you so much, Varunji. I think very valid suggestions. I feel all of them need to be implemented, and I think there is some work going on implementing all of them as well. There is a lot of discussion happening in this space, but I feel like I mentioned earlier, awareness create करना बहुत जरूरी है, जो आज हम इस वेबिनार के थ्रू डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। बहुत सारे अलार्मिंग स्टैटिस्टिक्स भी सामने आए, and people need to be aware of them. As uncomfortable as they might be, people need to hear about these. From a policy and regulation perspective, I'd like to move into a legal one. I just wanted to address Ms. Mukherjee. I just had a question on what are legal frameworks that exist currently to combat online child exploitation. So apart from the policy and regulation perspective, we wanted to understand a legal perspective.
Right. Am I audible, Gaurav ji?
Yes, Tulika ji, you're audible.
Thank you so much for inviting me to the panel discussion. So as already discussed, we already have the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, the POCSO. But, it has to be read along with the criminal manual. That is the CRPC, IPC Evidence Act. You have to read it along with the Juvenile Justice Act and the Information Technology Act. Right. But the key legislation which we have is POCSO, and it is very comprehensive so far the act in itself is concerned. So most of the matters which we get here in Supreme Court is 3 and 4, section 3 and 4, penetrative offenses. But here we are discussing cyber threat and POCSO. So for that, section 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, these are the sections which are important. Specifically speaks about child pornography, punishments which can be given. Now, this is a very different field. It's not just a regular POCSO matter, right? So what I think a lot of people miss out is reporting. Reporting is specifically mentioned in section 19. A lot of people are not aware that they can, if you have an apprehension that an offense is going to be committed, you can actually not only approach the local police, you can approach the special juvenile police unit. So this is missed. And a lot of discussion is going on awareness. So there are specific section on awareness. So 43 speaks about public awareness about the act, which says that the state government and the union government must take steps with regard to the awareness. That is one. Then comes monitoring and implementation, which is at section 44. And that gives a lot of power to the National Commission and the State Commission for Protection of Children, right? So the act that we have right now is comprehensive, but there is a lot to be done when it comes to implementation and awareness. So that is one thing which has to be taken care of.
So I just wanted to have ask a follow-up question on what you just said, that the act is comprehensive, but there are several things that need to be done at this stage. So from that, I feel there are several practical challenges.
Absolutely, Gaurav ji. Absolutely. In fact, I will broadly just tell 4 or 5 impediments which we face on day-to-day basis, because we get a lot of POCSO matters. I represent the state, 3 states. So the first thing we face is, delay in filing FIRs. There's a lot of stigma and fear, okay, attached to POCSO offenses. Not only that, they're not even aware of the legal recourses that they can go to, special juvenile police units. They can go file an FIR. So that is one. So delay of 1 day, 2 day, 5. We get matters where there are delay of months, and that makes our cases weak. That's A. Then the next is, lack of evidence. Now, digital evidence is very easily, you can very easily delete it or destroy it. So then it becomes very difficult for us lawyers, lack of evidence. Number 2 is hostile witnesses. Now, this is the most disheartening part, hostile witnesses. They are young, the victims are very young, they are children. They're not even, most of the time, they're not even aware what has happened with them. So during the course of the litigation, for example, we have their 161 statement before the police where they say, yes, it has happened. We have their statement under 164 before the magistrate where they support the prosecution case. They even in the examination in chief, they will support. And then finally, for example, there is a delay in recording the cross examination. Suddenly they turn hostile, because then the perpetrators get enough time to, resile or convince the witness, threaten them. And then, you can they just become hostile. That's number 3. Number 4 is proof of age. And this is a very typical problem to India. It's the cybercrime is not only common to the urban areas, even in rural, the internet is available at a click of a button, right?
Absolutely.
So even when you go to the villages, they can access internet just with a click of a button. So I have had so many matters where they're not able to give the proof of age, right? So presumption of age is, you can find it under section 94 of the Juvenile Justice Act. 2 of the POCSO says that you should be 18 and below 18 to be a child. Now, there are children who are accessing internet just with a click of a button, but they are not even going to school to give a proof that they are children. And the perpetrators come up with a proof, with a ground that no, they were adult, it was consenting. That is so difficult. I mean, it really makes our case weak, right? So then we have to say they either have to get certificates from the school. If that is not there, then certificate from municipal corporation or panchayats. If that is also not there, then comes the, in the absence of those certificates, then they have to get bone density test done or other, age determining test done from the hospital. So that is another problem we face. And finally, one more is that obviously awareness and implementation is the main issue here. And the last problem which we face is jurisdictional issue. They are, because the web is so wide, it is not just confined to India, right? You are opening, the child is getting exposed to the whole world, and that is where our powers get, limited. So I am really happy that, this topic has been picked and we are discussing it today, because there are so many impediments and problems we face day to day in the legal profession, and we have to formulate one more laws to ensure some solution to it. And I also believe we need special educators who could train not only the children but parents. They need to know what are their rights, how they can take legal recourse. So special educators who can not only cater to children, they should cater to the parents, they should cater to even, lawyers, whoever is there in the field. So that would be my bit.
Thank you. These are very valid challenges that you've mentioned that lie within the legal framework. Yes, definitely a lot needs to be done in this space to make these matters easier, to make the delivery of justice more seamless. Um, I'd just like to open up the, I think we've
May
heard
I
from
take your leave, Gaurav ji, if that is
yes,
okay?
yes, please.
Thank you so much. Thank
No,
you.
but then, Tanisha, Tulika ji, if you can stay here for 5 minutes, if any question which will be related to your
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. I'll just stay back.
Yeah, so we've heard from our panelists. I believe the audience may have a number of questions at this point. So we're opening up the chat for any questions. Please let us know who would you like to address these to and your question. We have a question from Rakesh Kumarji. Okay, I believe Rakesh Kumarji, you haven't mentioned who this is addressed to, but I will do that on my own. So he has asked, why is it crucial to collaborate among different stakeholders in addressing online risk for children? So maybe Chandrasekharji, if you would like to address this.
Can you say the question again? I'm not.
Yes, he has asked, why is it crucial to collaborate among different stakeholders in addressing online risk for children?
Okay.
What is the need for collaboration? Why is it so crucial?
Yeah. Thank you so much. See, because the problem is not something it is resolved by one area, because even the technology also matter. If you are collaborating the technology agency, maybe sometimes the programming can be done in such a way that all about it is the content. It's not that nobody is talking about the internet use is wrong, but what is the content access? The content is bad, then the issue is there actually. So how you can actually, then you need the technology. If you, as a, like a policy makers, we need to also connect with the policy maker. If there's something policy comes out, and suddenly because I need that only today, one SIM card is used actually for both adult and child. And that is where all access are there. So sometimes that is also a limitation actually. Then after you look into the community level, PRI level, then the education department, because the children do not only live at homes, they also go to the school and also live in a community. So it is a multiple factor responsible for this problem, and that is why different stakeholder has to come together to resolve the problem. Hope it answers.
Yes, thank you so much, Chandrasekharji. We have another question in the chat box. This is addressed to, I think we spoke about this, Sulikaji. I think you'd be the best person to respond to this. So somebody's asked, how can the government, private sector, and civil society organizations work together to effectively implement these policies and protocols?
As I mentioned that in the POCSO Act itself, there is a provision for for awareness, that is section 43. So that specifically says that the state government or the central government concerned can, impart periodic training on the matter to, various persons or people who are related to the subject. So they will have to connect to various platforms, not only the government sector, also the private sector, and ensure that proper advertisement is done, it is televised, people are educated. They should know about the right. So I think the implementation of Section 43 is very important. That is a way out. Advertising it widely in local newspaper, in local languages, in regular basis, that would be a way out, I think. Educating the not only the children, also the parent, especially in local language. So that might be a solution, but there can be more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, yes, so we have a shortage of time today. We've already overshot the time that this was scheduled for. So with your permission, I'd like to move on. We have a closing address now. To officially close this, I would like to invite I'd like to invite Ms. S. Manju Anand, Honorable Member, Karnataka State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, for her closing remarks. Over to you, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed panelists and participants, and ChildFund India, as we draw this important webinar to a close, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers, the participants, and organizers for their valuable insights and their contributions. Today's discussions has not only shed light on the pressing challenges of ensuring the online safety of children, but also just two seconds, 1 minute. Online safety of children, but also underscores the collective responsibility we share in addressing these issues. The digital world has opened up incredible opportunities for children to learn, connect, and grow. However, it has also exposed them to significant risks such as cyberbullying, online grooming, extortion, and the creation and sharing of child sexual abuse materials. These dangerous instances needs urgent attention, robust solution, and proactive engagement from all sectors of society. Our discussions today have highlighted key areas for action. We have learned about the importance of educating children, parents, and educators about safe online practices. We have emphasized the need to strengthen reporting mechanisms such as cybercrime, reporting portal, and the 1098 child line, ensuring they are accessible and widely promoted. Equipping law enforcement with advanced tools and training to investigate cybercrime effectively remains essential, as does fostering partnership with technology companies to block and trace harmful contents. But awareness and enforcement are not only part of the solution. We need a cultural shift that places children's safety at the center of all digital innovations. Policymakers, educators, law enforcement, technical companies, and civil society must work collaboratively to create a safe digital environment. To the parents and caregivers present today, open communication with your children about their online activities is key. Be proactive in understanding the platforms they use and teach them to identify risks and report suspicious behavior. To educators, incorporate digital literacy into your curriculum, teaching children how to navigate the internet responsibly and securely. Awareness campaigns in school can empower children to recognize online threats and seek help when needed. To policymakers and law enforcement, I just want to continue to repeat once again. To policymakers and law enforcement, continue strengthening the legal and institutional framework to ensure justice for victims and deterrence for offenders. Advocate for stricter penalties for cybercrimes targeting children and invest in capacity building for investigators and prosecutors. Together, we can create a digital world where children can explore, learn, and grow without fear. Thank you all for your engagement and dedication to this virtual cause. This is not a vital cause. Let us take the next step with resolve and purpose. Today's webinar is a significant step towards raising awareness and fostering collaboration to address the online risks faced by children. As we discussed solutions, let us remember that protecting children online is not just the responsibility of the parents or law enforcement, it is a collective duty. We must act with urgency and determination to safeguard the digital spaces our children inhabit by raising awareness, strengthening reporting mechanisms, leveraging technology, and fostering collaboration. We can create an environment where children can explore the internet without fear. Finally, to all the stakeholders, let today's discussion inspire action. As we leave this webinar, let us commit to translating words into meaningful initiatives, whether it's creating awareness, reporting suspicious activities, supporting victims, or implementing stricter policies. Each of us has a role to play in ensuring child safety online. A special thanks to ChildFund India for hosting this wonderful webinar. As we conclude, largely on all stakeholders present today to commit to this cause together, let us build a safe, brighter digital future for our children, one where their rights, dignity, and dreams are protected. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that powerful call to action. I must say I'm very happy to see how insightful this discussion has been, and how it has reinforced the important point that ensuring online safety for children is a shared responsibility among all stakeholders. My key points from today's panel, from today's discussion, in a nutshell, is that parents must stay informed. We spoke about online screen time monitoring activities of children. Schools and other educational institutions need to integrate digital safety. That is a priority. Lawmakers must seize as Tulikaji mentioned, there are a number of challenges that we need to work on in that regard. And law enforcement, of course, must act swiftly in this regard. I'd just like to close off by thanking all the speakers, panelists, and audience for a powerful discussion today. I just want to end this with saying that let's work together towards a web safe and wise future for our children. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
all the
all.
participants.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Great to have you. Thank you.